Good morning, everyone. I'm Deborah Koslovic, and I'm the Creative Memories Independent Advisor from Australia. Welcome to Creating Your Memories. Today, I want to share with you the new collection that Creative Memories have released, and that is the Vivid Melodies. You have 4 different paper packs, embellishments. There's punches that can go with this collection as well. So with the paper pack, you have a Jazzaberry, which is all your pink shades, and then you have the Carpy Blue, the Lime Tart. This has to be one of my favorites as well, is the Butterscotch, which is all your different shades of orange, burnt orange, your yellows and your lemons all mixed all in one. And also with this collection, you've got your embellishments. These laser cut embellishments, you have your 4 different colors coordinating with your designer papers as well. Beautiful laser cuts. So as you can see on the back, you've got different varieties of headings and sayings, flowers, arrangements, a laser cut border strip that you could use also on your layout, some leafy type cuts there as well, and then you've got your blue. Every pack of these laser cuts are different. There is nothing that is similar in each pack, so that's great for your different color combinations. Then you've got your green, and then you've got your butterscotch there as well. And also, because I bought the bundle, I got these bonus embellishment stickers. So they're like a jelly type sticker there. They're all titles, and I will be using one of those today on the layout that I will show you also. And also with the layout that I will show you today, I'm going to be using the Sunshine Arches border cartridge. So I'm going to show you how to cut out your jumbo circle using the Sunshine Arches, and then I'm going to complete a layout using this design, and I'll also be using the leafy vine decorative border punch on my layout. I have selected a few different laser cut embellishments from each of the packs and each of the colors from these that I think I might use. So this is all just trying to design in my head. I haven't actually put anything down on paper and work out exactly what I'm going to do on my layout. So we'll see how that goes. So I've already pre-cut one using the butterscotch designer paper. So with my layout, I will be using this side, but to start off with, I'll show you how I cut this one out, and I'm going to be using the Jazzaberry pink in that. So just move out all this out of the way. So to do this design, you would need to have a designer piece of paper, depending on what you're going to be using. Your 13 by 13 inch mat is a good indication of when we want to do our marking. You would also need the jumbo circle, the blue blade, and your border maker system, but just the housing. We won't need the tray today, and then your border cartridge. So to start off with, I'm just going to line up my paper on my 13 by 13 inch mat. And also, when you're doing your designer paper, you can turn it upside down. So when I do my layout, I'll be using this side. So I'm turning it back to front because I find that this is the lighter area that I can do my pencil marking, and then I don't have to rub it out. So I'm just going to line up my jumbo circle on the mat, centering it as much as I can so I've got even sides. It doesn't matter if you don't, but you can use the outer bit that you cut off if you like on your layout. So I'm going to use the blue blade, the jumbo circle, and I'm going to cut it out from the outside edge. It's holding that down, not lifting anything until you have it completely cut. I think that might be cut all around. No, we just got this side here that hasn't cut through properly. So I'm just going to put that one aside. So removing your jumbo circle, leaving the circle that you've just cut out on your 13 by 13 inch mat. So now I'm just going to be using a ruler, just a standard ruler, and a black lead pencil. So now I'm just going to mark it at my 6 points. I'm just probably doing about an inch line, and then I'm going to mark my other 6 points from the side. And then I'll mark my 45-degree angles. And then also on the opposite side. Oops. Another thing that I have done to my mat, I've used, I think it was a pen. You can use a Nico if you like, a fine tip Nico. And when I've done my mat, I've actually, because in between your 45, you've got that gap in between. So when you have your jumbo circle down, you can't actually see underneath where that line meets. So what I did was just getting a ruler and just lining it up on my 45. And then just adding that extra line. And I also did it with your 30-degree ones also, just so that I have that extra out on the edge. So that's just a little tip that you can also do if you like. So now that we have our pencil points, I can see mine. It might be a bit hard for you to see where I've got my pencils. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my cartridge in the housing, and I'm going to turn it upside down. And with this one, it's quite easily to see where your center point is. So it's actually the tip of the point there. With this Sunshine Arches, it actually looks like a bridge to me. So if you're thinking that it is a bridge, so if you've got the tip of your bridge and you just go and line up your pencil marking with the tip of that triangle. So when I'm going to punch it, I'm not going to push my paper all the way to the end of the housing like that. I'm going to pull it out a bit, and it's probably about 1/8. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's about 1/8 away from the edge of the housing block. So it's not actually all the way pushed in. So now that I've got that lined up, and it's lined up on my pencil marking, I'm going to punch. So then I'm going to go around to my next pencil marking, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing, lining up again, probably about 1/8, and then punching. So just remember, it's not going all the way to the end as you would do it if you were using your border maker tray and you're pushing it to the end and you're doing your punch. This is just leaving it out about 1/8 from the top of your circle and lining it up on your pencil marking and punching. So I'm just going around on all my pencil markings to start off with. Just got a couple more to do. So just getting that pencil marking, leaving that 1/8 gap in between from the edge of your circle and giving it a punch. So last pencil marking, exactly the same, just lining it up, just taking your time to do that. So that's the jumbo circle, and we've punched all our pencil points on the 6s and the 45-degree angles. So now I'm going to punch in between each of the little arches. So I'm just going to do exactly the same and just lining it up in between each gap. So when I say each gap, it's lining at your bottom part here on your punch. You're lining it up in between each of these. Also watching the top here and making sure that you don't have the top of your punch hanging over on the circle edge. So you're still lining it up, you're still having about the same gap in between, about 1/8. So I'm just going to hold that there. Not sure if you can quite see that, but you can see that it's centered in the middle in between each of those arches that I punched previously. So now I'm just going to give that a punch. And as you can see, it's cutting nicely in between each of those punches. So I'm going to continue that around until I've punched the whole circle. So just lining it up in between, making sure that you've got not hanging over the edge of your circle, and giving a punch. So I'm just going to continue around. On each one, you might get, it might be a little bit further apart. You might get these little whiskey things on when you punch, but all you've got to do is just take it down there like that, and then it all joins up together. So it just means that it could have been a little bit wider when I done it on the first punch to the last punch. So I'm just lining that up again and giving it a punch. Making sure that you get all your little confettis out of your punch before you do your next punch, because you don't want it to jam up while you're doing that. So I've got a couple more to go. So just lining it up, just guiding it in between and giving it a punch. So now on the last one, centering it in the middle and giving it a punch. So the only thing I need to touch up on this one is these couple of ones that we've got on the side here. So I'm just going to take it down on that angle so it matches in between on each of the other ones that we punched. So there we have it. You have the Sunshine Arches done, cut in your jumbo circle. You can use either side of your jumbo circle that we just punched with the Sunshine Arches. If you decide to use the side that we did the pencil marking on, just get your eraser and rub out your pencil lines. Because we didn't do a lot of pencil lining, it's not going to take much to rub that out. So that's the jumbo circle cut with your Border Maker System housing with the new Sunshine Arches. So as I said, I've pulled out a few elements that I want to use on the layout, so nothing in specific. So what I have a 3.5 by 4 photograph, just a single photo. Just going to put the one photo on the layout today, and I've backed that with a bit of Jazzberry designer paper. I pulled out the green, the lime, and I'm going to use this with the leafy vine punch. And that's what it looks like when it's punched out. And then I've pulled out a few embellishments. So I've pulled out a title and a couple of the flowers that I'm going to use on my layout, and also the laser cut circle there. So I'm just going to put all that aside, and to start off with, I'm going to use a bit of repositional tape, and I've got a piece of designer paper also. This one's also out of the Butterscotch designer paper pack. So I'm using that as my base layout, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's got some suns on it. So I'm going to use that one. So I'm just going to get the repositional tape. I'm just going to go around on the edges of my arches, because I want to make sure that they are stuck down and they're not lifting. So I'm just going to continue around, repositional tape on those. And then I'm just going to use a normal tape runner and just put a few dashes around the circle and in the center. So when I'm placing my layout down, I've got my base page, and because it's got a pattern, I want the pattern to go horizontally. You can have it vertically, but I think I like it going horizontally. So I'm just going to center it down on my paper, and just thinking that these points here are my 6 points, and just trying to center it so it's even on both sides of the page. So I think I'm happy with that now. So I'm just going to press that down. So my next step that I want to do is I'm going to bring in the line designer paper and the leafy vine. So this is a leafy vine punch. If you're not so sure how to use our punches, it's a 2-inch wide punch at the back here, and you also have these little line dashes on the front to where you line up your paper, so it's easy to line up and to know where your starting point is. And then when you do your first punch, then you're matching it on the blue as you go. So I'll just demonstrate. So I've got my green paper and I've got it lined up on the lines. So that's going to be my first punch. So then I'm going to move it along and then matching my punched out that I've just punched out with on the blue, so you can't see no more blue, and then punching again. And then I'm going to do that again, lining it up and then punch. So I'm doing that right to the end. Lining it up. This will be my last punch. And there you have that nice leafy vine. Paper might be a little bit longer than a 12-inch, or I probably didn't start on the black properly, but it's just a little bit of wispy pieces at the end you can just trim off. So that's the leafy vine. So just move all the leftovers away. So I'm going to bring in my base layout now. So I've got my layout. So I'm just going to add a little bit of repositional tape on the back, just so it sticks down. For this one, I might bring in my 13 by 13 inch mat. So I've been lining up the vine from top to bottom straight. So I've put the repositional tape on the back of the vine. So now I'm just going to use the normal tape runner and add it to the back of my photo. So I've got this lined up and I want to sort of like meet them both. So I'm thinking that I'm going to take it about 3 inches in from the bottom. So I'm lining it up in between 2 3/4 from the end here, and then it should line up with 2 3/4 at the top. So that way you know that your vine is straight. So I'm just going to push down the 2 ends, and then I have my photo, and I want to put my photo underneath the vine. So just lining it up. I think I might move it down a tab. Trying to position that right so the leafies aren't going onto my daughter's face. So I think I might have it about there. So I'm not going to completely push that down yet, because then I'm going to bring in my embellishments that I have, and I have this, and I was thinking maybe putting some of that under the photo. I always thought of having maybe this lucky underneath my gel stickers, and I was thinking about using Thankful for You. And I thought about placing that underneath here, underneath the lucky. So if we go back to this piece here, just getting my multi-purpose tool now, making sure that's lift up. So I wanted to place just under, somewhere around like that. So what I'm going to do is get my pencil, because I want to salvage some of this laser ring because I want to use it elsewhere. So I'm going to mark it as best as I can. So I'm just using my multi-purpose scissors, and I'm going to cut it. I think I might cut it probably about there. So then I can just bring in my eraser, rub off those pencil markings. So with this one, I'm just going to put some repositional tape on that. And I'm going to place that under the photo. Like so. And then, so I'm just going to stick all that down now, because I know that that's where I want that. And then our lucky, it's going to also put some repositional tape on the back of that. You can also use your position glue pen, that will also help. It has a really good stick on it. So I'm just going to put lucky down here, Probably about there, I think. And then thankful for you. I'll put that up there. Maybe the top. Might put that, and then put this other bit that I trimmed off. Could always put it. So I wanted to cut it, but I also wanted to place it on my layout somewhere. I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to place it. It's enough for there. Can always place it down the bottom. So I'm just going to lift up this. That's a point of using the repositional, because it's easy to lift and we can just move stuff around. So thinking, now I think I might put it down the bottom. So I'm just going to use the repositional, final decision on the bottom. So I'm just going to place that underneath, like so. Probably just centering it in the middle. And then I'm going to place, just getting rid of that excess repositional leftovers. So I might place my lucky sticker probably over on that, just a tab. So I'm going to place that down before I change my mind again. Then I've pulled out some of these laser cut embellishment flowers from each of the packs. And I've still got to put thankful for. And always stick that here. And then my embellishment cluster, I'm just going to use some foam squares. I've got the foam squares on the back of the bigger flower. I think I might make that little cluster about here. Something like that. So I'm just going to use the repositional tape and put it down. About there. Adding that bigger flower, and then we'll add the smaller flowers around that one. So we have the blue. So I'm going to use a little bit of tape runner on the back. So I might lift that and use the pink, I think. Adding the pink one here, and I might raise the blue one with the foam squares. And adding that one down the bottom. Nice easy layout using the Sunshine Arches border cartridge and different color collections from the Vivid Melodies. You have your all different colors that you can use. Today I used the butterscotch, and I also used the leafy vine punch, which is also new, that was released with this collection. So quite easily done, doing your jumbo circle punch outs with your border cartridge and then adding that one photo for a layout. If there's any questions or you want to ask me something, please feel free and I will answer anything that I can. Please subscribe to my channel. I hope you liked and enjoyed my layout today. Until next time, happy scrapping.